Can you actually bring your elderly parent to live with you in the UK permanently? This is one of the most common questions we get asked, and the honest answer is it's rarely straightforward. Hi, I'm Mafuz. We've got two stories for you today. Both start the same way, a refusal letter and a family running out of options. And both end in a place neither client expected. Stick around till the end because the second case shows a slightly different route to the same result, one that's worth knowing about too. Quick note, before we dive in, to protect our clients' privacy, we've given them different names for this video. The names you hear aren't real, but everything else about this case is. Quick bit of context before the stories. There's a route that lets you bring an elderly parent to live with you permanently in the UK, but the bar is set deliberately high. You basically must prove the care they need isn't available back home at all. That's hard to do, and most applications don't get there. And if your parent's already here on a visit, you can't just switch into that route from inside the UK. Your only option left is something called discretionary leave, essentially asking the Home Office to step outside the normal rules and use their discretion based on compassionate grounds. That's exactly the position our first client found herself in. Let's call her Anna. She was 84 from China and had been visiting her son's family in the UK for years. Always within the rules, always a welcomed guest, nothing complicated. Then, during one of those visits, everything changed. She was crossing the road when she was hit by a car. Injuries to her head and her back. Physically, she slowly started to recover, but something else happened too. She became genuinely dependent on her son, and she was frightened of going home to China to an empty house with no family nearby. We applied for her to stay in the UK outside the normal rules on the basis of those exceptional circumstances, but it was refused. The Home Office said it wasn't compelling enough, that adequate care was available to her back in China, but we didn't agree, so we appealed. At the tribunal, we built the case around 4 points. First, her long, spotless history as a genuine visitor. Second, the fact she had already gone home if the accident hadn't happened. Third, how hard it would be at her age, in her condition, to rebuild her life in China without support. And fourth, that her son's role had shifted well beyond typical parent-child support. Since the accident, she genuinely couldn't manage independently anymore. The tribunal agreed, and the appeal was allowed. It was a long fight, but Anna's still in the UK today with her family, getting the care she actually needs. Our second client, we'll call her Grace, was 67 and she was from Nigeria, visiting her son and his family in the UK. While she was here, the arthritis in her legs got dramatically worse. Hospital appointments, then surgery. Just like before, our first application was refused, so we appealed. And this time, we persuaded the judge that after her operation, Grace had also grown especially close to her son and grandchildren, and that sending her back could seriously damage her mental health and therefore damage her potential recovery. She was granted 2.5 years leave to remain in the UK. Both of these cases show the same thing, that the rules in this area are strict and a straightforward application often isn't enough. But strict doesn't mean impossible, especially when there are genuine, compelling circumstances behind the case. If you're in a similar situation with an elderly parent, get in touch with us at Lisa's Law. We're happy to talk through your options.